watched my last video, I said if you're going through hell, don't get stuck there. Today, I want to walk you through being stuck or feeling stuck. There's a few things that I disagree with or have unpopular opinions about when it comes to certain theories around mental health. And one is about what it is to be stuck, and the other one is to be numb. I don't think when people express being numb, usually when you say, usually numb by definition is the loss of sensation. When people feel numb, they typically are overwhelmed with emotion and they have so many feelings that are bombarding them at one time that they are having trouble identifying what all of them are or what the main one is. And that overwhelmed feeling is kind of like, when a computer in cartoons would crash because they overheat and explode. I think that's kind of what happens in our brain, and that leads us to anxiety and panic attacks and things like that. But it's not that you don't feel anything, it's just you don't know what this feeling is. And probably because there's so many of them that it's complicated. Like if someone says, "Oh, are you sad?" and you're like, "No, I don't think so." But a part of you may be sad, but because you don't only feel sad, you would disagree that you're sad. You could be a lot of things at one time, and therefore, because of that, you're kind of in a state of shock. It's just like, oh, I just feel really numb. And people do certain things and harm themselves in order to feel something. But it's really because when they do those things to feel something, it draws their attention to that thing. And therefore, there's something they can identify or put their finger on. As before, like I said, you don't know what it is. And so you kind of call it nothing. That's my opinion. And I found that to be true more times than not. I'm not saying that you're not numb. I think people can be numb. I just think a lot of times when people use the word numb to describe what they're feeling, it's really just a complication of like, what is this? I don't know what this is, as far as I'm not feeling anything. Okay. And so the other thing that I have unpopular opinions on is about feeling stuck. People often say they feel stuck. And I have found that most of the time people are not stuck. And I'm not laughing at you if you're like, I'm stuck right now, and that's why you clicked on the video. 9 times out of 10, and maybe a little more, when people say they feel stuck, they are not, in fact, stuck. When you think about what stuck is to be in a position you cannot get out of. There's no way out. When people say they're stuck in most day to day life, there is a way out, but the way out is not favorable or enjoyable or comfortable. And that's why I say most people are not stuck. Okay. And so when people think they're stuck, they're usually afraid of starting over, right? Like, I've been in this situation for so long. I've been at this job for so long. I've been in this relationship for so long. Things have gone this way for so long. What am I supposed to do? You're allowed to change your mind. You could do something different. But the idea of doing something different, you're questioning, what if this and what if that, and what if this doesn't work out, and what if I don't find a job, and what if I don't make enough money, and what if I'm single for the rest of my life, or what if I don't find anybody who will love me or treat me better, or what if I don't get new friends, and what if I move to this new city and I fail? Whatever it is, it brings up fear, and then you start doubting yourself, and you're like, oh, I have to continue doing this thing. And so then you say, I'm stuck. You are not stuck. You are scared. Okay. um the other thing, or in addition to, is people just do not like the options. Like I said, the options seem unfavorable. I will always stand by choose your heart. And I believe I said this in the last video too. You can choose your heart to stay in a situation, or you can choose your heart of starting over. Both are going to be hard. If your situation sucks and you stay, then you're almost guaranteed that you'll be in a sucky situation forever because it already sucks. Or you can do the hard of doing something that it may suck for a little while, but it will all pay off, or it'll all be worth it in the end. And therefore, you're only suffering for a shorter period of time versus staying in the situation you're in. But if you don't, if you're, a lot of people feel like, well, what I'm going through is already hard. Why would I do something else hard when I could just do what I've always done? That's comfort. That's complacency. That's stagnancy. You have options. You just don't like them. You want an easy way out. And we all do naturally. We all want an easy way out. But realistically, the way life be life in, the easy way out is almost never guaranteed. It's possible, but it's never guaranteed. And so you probably have options. And so I like to describe, especially to my clients, as when they're feeling stuck, as a dead end, whatever decision you're making or whatever you're going through right now. Think of it as if you're driving and you get to a dead end. If you get to a road with a dead end, usually it's blocked off, there's a sign that says dead end, or it's the red and white barricade or whatever. And you could argue that you're stuck, like, oh man, the road ends here. Realistically, in real life, you are not stuck at that spot. You cannot go forward. You cannot go that way anymore. Let that preach. You can't go that way anymore, but you're not stuck right there in that spot. You can turn around. You can go a different way. You can do a detour. You can go back home and try it again a different day if it's under construction. That one pathway was closed to you, but your options to get there are probably endless, or at least there's a few more. But because you didn't intend to go a different way, because it may take you longer to go a different way, it may take you more gas to go a different way. You got to pass through a neighborhood you don't want to go through going the other way. It's so inconvenient to go a different way. You're going to sit there and say, oh, I'm stuck here. What am I supposed to do? You have options. And a lot of times when people feel stuck, that's exactly what it is. You're at this dead end for whatever reason and whatever situation. And I'm not saying any of it is your fault, but there is a dead end nonetheless. And you're sitting in the street saying, there's nowhere to go. Turn around. Literally in your life right now, turn around. Go a different direction. Go somewhere else. Maybe wherever you were going, you shouldn't have been in the first place. You ever left your house early one morning or intended to and you were running late and you were frustrated only to find out there was a really bad accident or something happened somewhere along the way? And so when you got to wherever you were going or to work, it was like actually a good thing you were late. It's sometimes that's just how life is. Like it inconveniences us and it frustrates us, especially if we don't adapt to change well or quickly. If we're not agile with adaptation, then we get frustrated. But sometimes the detour is in our favor. The delay is in our favor. But we have to be open minded to that instead of just frustrated that things aren't going what they want. And this is coming from somebody who's frustrated every day about something not going the way they want. The minorist, if that's even a word, inconvenience, I'm like, everything's ruined. I still figure it out and I still keep going, which is why I'm successful in a lot of ways in my life. But I do have moments where I give myself time to pout and be frustrated. I vent, I complain regularly because it's cathartic for me, because I get it off my chest so I can say what's next. Because I know me personally, if I suppress it and hold on to it, then my nerves are bad from here on out because I'm not acknowledging nor expressing my feelings, which is why I strongly encourage it. I get it out of my system. I say what I got to say, whatever. Nobody has agreed. It doesn't have to make sense, but I'm saying it. I'm getting it out, whether you journal, whether you go for a run, however you want to express it. I complain. I whine and I complain, and then I find a solution. Because now that the feelings are out, I can think straight. But when you hold on to feelings, like especially like stronger feelings, anger, unforgiveness, sadness, and things like that, you do not function optimally at your highest potential when you are withholding those feelings, which is why I talked about in my last video, you need to let it go. Okay? And so you can do things differently, and a lot of us just do not want to. But I just want to challenge you. If you're like, I'm stuck in this situation, there's nothing I can do, I want you to reframe that to what can I do about this? There's some things you may not be able to do about right now, but you can start planning, you can start figuring it out, you can start researching, you can start working toward the next steps, right? It doesn't have to be a big jump right now. For some people it is. Some of you know what to do and you're not doing it because you're scared, like I said at the beginning, or you think, what if I'm wrong and everything's worse after this? And that's possible too. But everything also could be fine after this. And life goes on, nobody's hurt, and it's fine. That's possible too. So one of those things like the kids are saying, F around and find out. Try it and see. If it's already hard, if you're already going through hell, get the hell up out of there. Like, do not get stuck where you are by telling yourself there's no options. When you were saying you were stuck, you're saying there's no way out. And I just want to challenge you to ask yourself, is there really no way out? Or are there outs and they intimidate you? They scare you? Do they make you feel incompetent? Do they make you feel weak? Do they make you feel dumb? When we make bad decisions, a lot of times we don't do anything different because we feel like we have to live with our mistake. Like, I've already done all this. And the condemnation and the self deprecating behaviors and mindset really keeps us bound like a stronghold into whatever we've already done wrong, because we feel like, kind of as a punishment to ourselves, of like, I just need to deal with it. If I would have never done this, I wouldn't be in this situation. So this is my life now. That's not true. That's a lie. That's a lie from the pit of hell. You don't. You can change your mind. You can say, you know what? I've done this thing for all these years, and it was a bad decision, and I want to make a better decision moving forward, and change your mind and go a different direction. You can turn around. You can decide, hey, I'm grateful that there's a dead end right here, because I shouldn't be going this way, no way. I shouldn't be going over to that person's house, no way. I shouldn't be going back to that relationship anyway. I shouldn't be going back to this job anyway. I should not be going back to this family member anyway. And skedaddle. Get out of there. Will it be fun? Probably not. Will it hurt? Absolutely. Will it be uncomfortable? Sure. Will people push back? Sure. Will people be upset with you? Sure. You're still not stuck though. So I hope this gives you a little encouragement and some clarity on if you are feeling like you're stuck. Maybe you are, maybe you aren't. Just think about it a little more and consider your options and choose your heart.